I want to challenge you with a question that I ask myself all the time. And in fact, I have a monthly men's group that we meet up, and often we interact with this question and ask it to each other, holding ourselves accountable. And the question is this: what does faithfulness look like in the season that God has you in right now? I encourage you to write that down and revisit it. And every word in the question is pretty strategically thought through to guide our mind into correct thinking. And so that first point is, what does faithfulness look like? A lot of you guys know me. I am a father. I'm a husband. I'm a business owner. I'm a pastor. I'm a church planter. I'm active in the community. And I have a lot going on. I'm extremely busy. And when I look at what all of the responsibilities are with the various things that God has blessed me with in my life, it can become overwhelming and even times debilitating, to where there's like so much to do, so much to think through, that you don't even know where to start. And so rather than seeking what balance looks like, I used to ask, what does balance look like in my life? Work-life balance, or just balance in all of the different things. But I found that to not be a helpful question, because when does life ever feel balanced? Balance assumes equal weight of distribution on all sides to keep something upright, and you can't do that. You can't just put equal weight of distribution in your family, and then in your business, and then in your ministry. It just doesn't work like that. And then seasons change, and life situations change. And so finding balance for me has just never been helpful. I don't want to seek balance. I just want to seek obedience. So what does obedience look like? What does faithfulness look like in the season that God has me? So rather than seeking out balance, I'm seeking obedience. And rather than seeking out like, how can I go back to the way it was before, or how can I create this ideal picture of life, I have to recognize that life comes in seasons, right? Life situations change. Circumstances change. I found that life comes in seasons. When I first came to the Lord, it was just me and Candace, and I had a 9 to 5 job. So I would be able to get off work at 5 o'clock, come home, spend time with Candace, and I would have about 4 hours every night to do whatever I wanted to with my time. And I would read the Bible, I would watch sermons, I would read books, I'd spend hours in prayer, and it was just a really sweet time in life. Well, that season is done and gone. Not to say that my love for the Lord, my devotion, or any of that has changed. It's just you throw a kid in the mix and life changes. You throw 3 kids in the mix and a business and ministry, and life changes, and all of the situations and circumstances within the various aspects of your life change. And so you can't seek a particular outcome or a particular type of season, especially if it's a season you've enjoyed before. You got to realize that you're in a season right now. And so what does faithfulness look like in the season that you're in? And it's not just the season that you're in, it's what does faithfulness look like in the season that God has you in right now? And the reason why that's important is because as Christians, we know that we don't believe in just random happenstance. We don't find ourselves randomly in a place in life. That we have a loving and good and sovereign God. He has mapped out the end from the beginning. He created you with particular works in mind. He has a plan for your life, that if you find yourself in a season, it's not because you randomly are there, it's that God has you there. And so this takes a bit of self-awareness, like to think like, what does faithfulness look like? What is the season that I'm in right now? What are the various things that God has placed in my life? And what are those things that maybe I've placed in there that shouldn't be in there? And do I really trust that God has me in a particular place? And so it's the question that I challenge myself with. It's challenging because oftentimes I just wake up and want to do my own thing, make my own decisions, carve out my own path. But it's also liberating, because once I realize and remember that my life isn't mine, it's His. He has bought me with a price. My life is hidden in Him. It belongs to Him. It's freeing because I can just release any kind of expectations that I have. God has me in a season. I don't have to think about balance. I have to think about, what does obedience look like today, trusting that God will work out all things for my good because I love him and I'm called according to his purpose. So I want to challenge you with that question. What does faithfulness look like in the season that God has you in right now?